What's up, guys? It's your boy Maximus104 here, and in today's video we're gonna be building Los Angeles, California with Legos. Welcome back. It's been a long time back to these Lego tutorial videos, and today, as you heard, we're gonna build Los Angeles, California. So we obviously gotta start off with our base that we always use every time, with the side plates that go upward or sideways, and put 5 of them. And here is our first building, which is the Aeon Center in Los Angeles, because there's also one in Chicago. But here is the one in Los Angeles, which looks pretty different. And instead of where it was originally, we're gonna actually move it over to the side, and we're gonna start building the US Bank Tower here. So we're gonna use this sort of light gray, and we're gonna use these weird sloped long pieces. But first, we're gonna use these, what as my mom calls them, hat pieces. But they're actually like smooth ones with studs in the middle. So we're gonna use those, and then we're gonna put smooth ones over the top of them. And then up here at the top, we're gonna use these weird sloped pieces. And up here, we're gonna use these round sort of tiles. And here we have this smooth one with a hole in the middle. And I guess we got rid of it. So now we have them double heighted. And here we have a, well, choose, dang it. Okay, here we have instead a actual brick with it, and it's like all rigid on the sides, and put the smooth in the middle, put the bar on the, make a decision. Okay, so now we have these on it. And here we put a gear on the top, because on the top of it, it looks, well, kind of like a gear. And here at the bottom, we're going to add some street around it. So some sidewalk, and then we're going to put some little trees on there, because trees are always cool. And then around the side, we're going to put some street, which is going to be the dark gray color. And we're going to put our Aeon Center right next to it, because it's actually to the side of it from the angle of the city we're looking at it. And here we're going to have one of my favorite buildings in Los Angeles is the Wilshire Grand Center. And this one I used to struggle with before trying to build, and then I eventually found a way using some online inspiration. So there's some pretty cool ideas online, so those helped me figure out how to sort of make a base for it and ideas. And then I added my own colors. But point is, it looks really nice. So here we have these sort of side brick pieces, these modified bricks on the side with the studs on them. So we can put these plates on them, and then these curved smooth pieces, which is really nice. And we're gonna grab these ones that kind of look like a telephone, and we're gonna put them on this side, and we're gonna do the same on the other side. But first, we're gonna color in the middle with this nice dark blue color, and then on here we're gonna add some see-through blue, which after rendering it looked really bad, so I ended up changing it to just a regular blue instead of see-through, which looks a lot better. And here we have some same thing on the other side, basically. Now over here is a weirder part where we have this sort of big slope that goes up the side of it. So we have this giant slope piece, and we have to extend it out a little bit. So we put a couple of giant 1 by, I don't know, like 12 plates. And then here we're coloring it in again, and it looks really bad after rendering. So again, it changed the color of it later. And then there's a sort of slope at the top, and right here there's a giant antenna that sticks up really high, which makes it the tallest building in California. And then down here at the bottom, we have to make the base for it using this funky, like 1 by 2 stud in the middle smooth piece. But instead of 1 by 2, it's got like 3. And then we're going to start making the base on the floor for it, which is going to look really nice. So basically just more space and street for it. And then we're going to add it out a little bit so we have more space for some road. So then we're going to grab some of our nice smooth pieces and put them around, and then we're going to color them in the street color once we've found our perfect way. And here we have some sidewalk around it, and then now we have the nice street color. And over here, we're going to add a mountain to the background. So we can have the Hollywood sign and this weird antenna thing at the top of the mountain. I don't know what mountain it's called, but I just know that's called a mountain. So we're gonna use this dark green for the base. I like to use darker greens at the bottom and make them get lighter as they progressively get to the top. So I think that's a nice sort of transition in color. So I made the mountain really tiny originally over here, so I had to make it longer. But for now we can see the main strategy, which is basically adding a bunch of slope pieces to the sides and then adding these modified bricks with studs sticking out of them into the mountain so we can put our Hollywood sign there. And actually, I don't know if I changed it or not, but oh, here's our first design for the I forgot what it's called, but it's an observatory, the Griffith Observatory on top of the mountain, which is not really on top of it, but you know, you get the idea. And here I thought it looked really bad. Well, I didn't realize that until later, but it was bad, so we had to redo it. And right here, those grilled pieces you see, they are basically the Hollywood sign. So it's a very interesting side technique that we use. And in front of it, we're gonna sort of change it up, and we're gonna put the Griffith Observatory in the front of the mountain. But before that, right here, we're gonna make Capitol Records building. It's because it's iconic, and it's next to Hollywood. So it's sort of this interesting building used with these dish pieces, sort of upside down, for the weird sort of circular effect it gives off. And up here at the top, we have this sort of spire. And in the middle, I realized how really big it was, and it covered basically the whole Hollywood sign. So I had to go back and change that later. But until then, we're gonna just deal with it until I realize that. And here we have some nice little palm trees, because I like using these pieces, because they're really cool little palm trees. And around this point is probably where I realized that I had made a big and I'll probably go back and change that. I'm hoping so. Please, yes. And there we go, just like I said. Okay, so first, I'm pretty sure we started off with the little hill for the observatory, or we went straight for the Capitol Records building. Right here, we're making the mountain a little bit higher and making a nice little slope top up there. So it adds more smoothness, so it's not fully straight angle and it's more rounded at the top, and that looks really nice. And then up here, we're gonna add our little antenna station, or it's like a broadcast tower, probably. We have this nice little unicorn horn piece for the spire, and this little red thing, vibrant red, it's really nice. And over here, I believe, is where we're gonna start working on the hill for the Griffith Observatory up in front of the mountain. Now here, I had a little bit of problems because I didn't know how big I wanted to make the Griffith Observatory. I didn't want to make it too big to the point where it was like in the way, but also wanted it to be sort of showing its features off and how it uses special pieces to sort of make it. But I think we captured that pretty well and not made it too big. Like sometimes when it comes to architecture sets, the piece that or the building isn't correctly sized accurately to the other ones because you are limited to the amount of kinds of pieces you have. So you have pieces that are weird shapes but are the best ones that resemble the building, and they might sometimes be off, but it's the best choice that you have. So here is basically what it looks like, kind of, and then here we have the big observatory part in the back, and I thought this actually looked really nice for the observatory. And then in the front, we're gonna put some of these, I don't know how to describe them, but they're pretty cool pieces. They're like round studs, but like two of them and connected into one. And here we're adding the hill with a lighter green color, because to resemble it's shorter, so there's more of a light green color, I feel like. And then here we're adding an even lighter green, and then up here is the dark green for the base of the Griffith Observatory. And then in the back I had to resize the Hollywood sign because it was kind of, it couldn't, the Griffith Observatory was like pushing into it, so it wouldn't physically be possible like that. And around here we had some grass around the Griffith Observatory, and then here I made the mountain, or the hill, I made it a lighter green. And then here's when I started to do some color blending, because there were a bunch of like random tiles and stuff in there, so it was easier to sort of blend it. And then here we go. Look how nice that is, so pretty. And then right down here we're gonna have the Capitol Records building, but it's gonna be a lot smaller this time, so it's better represented in correctly size. Here we have some dishes, but I realized that they weren't the best color or the best size, and I used the same unicorn antenna piece for the spire. So then instead of the dishes, I had gone back and used these round tile plates with studs on the top so we can connect them like that, because I feel like it looked a lot better, and to be honest, I truly think it did. So there we have that, like that, and here we have our street in the front, and then so far it looks really nice. And over here I'm gonna put I think it's Santa Barbara Docks or something, I don't know, but it's kind of like a giant amusement park on a boardwalk, which is really nice. And we're gonna have the little boardwalk, we're gonna have our Ferris wheels, some little concession stands, and some water. So first we're gonna make the water, and we make a sort of lighter blue color, because that's what LEGO typically uses for their water pieces. And here we have like the wood pillars going into the beach, and over here we have our little concession stand for our stuff, and we're gonna color them with some vibrant colors, like maybe an orange, pink, and a blue, because why not? And right here I'm making go back a little bit just to add some more docky feelings, so we can add more concession stands and it looks more spread out and nice. And then in the back we're gonna use a steering wheel little piece or something, and we're gonna use that as the Ferris wheel that's there. And we're gonna use this sort of stud piece that I like using with the brick with the stud, and then it kind of just goes over there. And we're trying to find a good wheel that looks like a Ferris wheel, but it's also not super big, because a lot of them are really big. So we need to find a nice little one, sort of like this. And then we put that little stud piece in the back. We gotta color it, sort of like this light grayish color. And here we put it on this very convenient little, I'm gonna call it like a ice cream scooper looking piece. It's pretty cool. And over here, the slopes are gonna add as some sort of little waves, because I've seen LEGO use this before, and other people have made mocks, and they're pretty cool. And over here we have our beach, which is really nice, and we're our nice sand color, and we're gonna put some palm trees here, because I love palm trees. I love using these things, they're so cool. And then it's gonna add some vibrancy, and then here we're gonna add our front part, as we usually do, and it always looks really great. And then we're gonna render it, and it's gonna look really weird, so then we're gonna go back and change it, and we're gonna stop recording right there. And this is what the skyline looks like by itself, of the city part specifically, but you can kind of see the other structures and get an idea of sort of where we're looking at the city. And here we have the final product, which I think looks really nice. I have tried to build Los Angeles before this video, but the thing is, it looks really bad. And I was like, you know what? We should go back and remake this. And I'm glad we did, because now we have this super cool Los Angeles LEGO architecture set. And please leave your suggestions in the comments of what city you want me to make next. I really hope you enjoyed. And with all of that said, I will catch you guys in the next one.